This time I'm with my boy Drew Evans, who is the owner and creative director of Home Femme, a fashion brand that established in 2013, which is a luxury streetwear brand that seamlessly blends high fashion with urban culture. The brand's names translating to man and women in French reflects its inclusive approach to fashion. Is that good enough, or you need more credits on the credit section of the intro?
I mean, with your network and all the people you know, bro, I think that's enough for me right now.
Drew, aka that dude, when it comes to this shit that he does.
AKA Passport Poppy,
That part on Instagram.
one of one
Always be outside.
with you.
A lot of frequent flyer miles.
That's a fact. Delta, United, and JetBlue.
Yo, it's great to see you, man. Appreciate you pulling up on me, bro. You've always been one of them ones where I'm like, yo, I'm over here. Do you got, and you make time every single time, bro. You've been like that with me from the second I met you, man, and I can't thank you enough for that. So,
Can I say one thing?
yeah, you got
I don't
it.
want to interrupt, but literally from the second I met you, bro, you've been giving me advice, giving me, free game. Obviously I know who you are from being a student of the game, and like when
Nobody
I met you,
special, bro. Just somebody that's been fortunate to have the light on him for a little bit.
very humble for who he is, but definitely one of the most influential dudes of our culture. So yeah, it means a lot for you to even think of me.
Nah, and it
Have me
means
on
more
this.
that you even hold me to that regard, bro. It's I know a lot of people look at what I do and try to sing my praises and stuff, but honestly, I'm just like everybody else, just trying to figure it out and just trying to put my best foot forward and give people the energy and love that I feel they need to hear and see so they could keep being great. You know what I mean? And I only really spend that time and energy on people that I see it in. I don't just, you know what I'm saying? I got better shit to do with my day than to just be bumping my gums. But here we are. And I got a few questions for you. Yeah, I'm learning how to do all this shit, so bear with me just because I put my notes in my phone. Shout to you know who.
Bro, I remember when you told me you were going to do this. I'm just glad to see that it's finally coming to fruition, bro.
Well, yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, like all of this is like crash course learning, homies. I am gonna put this content out. Like it's starting on my YouTube channel with the aim of can this live, breathe, on the Spotify's and the everywhere else this needs to go. But like the reality of it is one of the biggest bottlenecks I've had in trying to create this or get going on this is I'm always on the road. And I finally got to the point where I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna do the podcast on the road. And what better place to do it than a spot that you and I both have an appreciation for. We both have pieces here.
Yeah.
And the family's allowing me to kind of curate and do all this. And we're in here in the trenches right now at Blitzstein's.
Yeah, don't let him get you here. You're going to spend a lot of money. It's definitely worth it, though. It's so much stuff in here, like so much history, just so much creativity, so much diversity in the art. Like, it's one of a kind, like for sure. And the fact that you've taken the time out of your schedule to curate this is.
Nah, I've been at it
yeah,
for almost a year.
I know, because I spent a lot of money in here about a year ago.
Well, on behalf of the Blitzstein family, they thank you. You actually spent almost what they generated in a whole year in one transaction. Just want to let you know that.
I mean, it's definitely like changed the vibes of my apartment, so brings the vibe. So yeah, nah, thank you, bro.
It went to a great home.
It did.
So I got a question. Like, what inspired you to establish Home Femme, and how did your vision for the brand develop over time? Because you're like to the moon already with this.
So to make a long story short, like I grew up in Los Angeles, proper LA. I spent my childhood in between West LA, like this part of town which we're in now, like West Side, Fairfax District, La Cienega and Venice. Also in Compton with my father's parents. My parents passed away when I was younger, so my grandparents had joint custody. But I was just always been inspired by LA. So like growing up in that era, like I just, I'm in my mid 30s. So I grew up on the block where Baby Lane was from, allegedly, had parts in what happened to Tupac and Suge and all those people. So I've been seeing history for a long time, living through it. I went to high school with dudes like Shia LaBeouf and Nipsey Hussle and people like that. So just seeing like the urban part of LA, also seeing the luxurious side of LA, Hollywood. Like I was always inspired to do something. But early on, I think hip hop, like seeing like Russell, like guys like that, guys like Jay Z and Dame Dash, Sean John, like brands like that, academics, like just made me want to have my own clothing line. But the big thing that inspired me the most was probably when I interned with Taz Arnold.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you're pretty familiar with Taz. Like he's a big legend. Worked with Kanye, Virgil, all those dudes. Had his own brand, Tisa. I did marketing for him, and I'm just like, yo, I could really do this. So that was the first thing that inspired me. And then obviously, like the biggest thing was just getting to it and doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long has that journey been from helping Taz to sitting here today?
Damn. So I met Taz in like 2011, and then I started working with him in 2012, like summer 2012, through his assistant Bailey.
So you got in, and a year in, you were already around the right people.
I'm blessed, bro. I think I've always been around the right people, just like I said, from my upbringing. Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest blessings I've had in my life was like my network.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
As creative director, how do you approach the blending? How do you approach the blending contemporary fashion trends with Home Fem's unique aesthetic?
It's tough. Like I just left the office right now. I came up here, to support you and just see the gallery and what you were doing with it. Didn't have no idea you was doing a podcast. But like I said, I'm very proud that you actually finally.
Yeah, because if I would have told you I'm doing a pod, you would have been like, "Get the fuck out of here."
I would have got a haircut.
Nah, this is real streets.
Yeah, I would have. I would have got a facial or something. You know what I mean? Put on another fit. But yeah, I mean, for me, like the biggest part of like having a brand, obviously, is like not to jump the gun, but like my brand's pretty big. Like I've done like
numbers.
I'm like 40% to 100 mil in my 12 years. Like like of doing my brand. If so like, and I plan on doing 100 in a year one of these years. But like, it's tough because you want to be creative, you want to be unique, but you also gotta like feed the streets. You know what I'm saying? And like sometimes the stuff that I like personally for my aesthetic and my taste level, my core consumer base is not ready for it. You know what I mean? So I gotta, for a lack of a better term, kind of dumb it down a little bit. But I always go back to like hip hop. Like I always go back to hip hop. Like I had kind of got stuck a couple days ago, and I'm just on Pinterest looking at like Boyz II Men wearing suits and like what they were wearing in the '90s. I was watching Mad Men on Prime, and I like binge watched all 7 seasons. Then I got inspired by like the '60s, and like now I'm on my Don Draper. Like what I'm saying, and like I'm always inspired by like current events of life and like the past. But I would say probably like hip hop for sure is number one. Sports, like me growing up in like the end of the Michael Jordan era, the whole Kobe era, like like Allen Iverson, Kobe, dudes like that. Hip hop, old stuff from like my grandpa, like his wardrobe in the '60s and stuff like that, and whatever I find inspiration in at the time.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of us, when we start creating, right, you try to go to feel-good moments or memories that you have and then,
Exactly.
Tie it to current events. How has Home Fem evolved since its inception, and what key milestones defined your journey so far?
Man, another in-depth question for me. I think my brand over the past decade plus, 20% into my second decade, which is crazy to me. Like when I first started, I was just proud to have a product that I made that people actually wanted. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know people
Well, I think you got to, not to cut you off, but I think you got to start even before you even had the brand. Talk about this, making a shirt that winds up catching a cease and desist. And that was really, to me, that's a jump for you.
Yeah.
Right?
So working with, before Taz, me and my brother used to do events. We had this like party company we call LA Hype. My brother, like Twan, has been in the party game forever. Like found YG, found DJ Mustard, dudes like this, like '06, like MySpace days. Like when YG was getting like 50,000 plays a day on MySpace. Like my brother was doing the parties for the young kids, Hamilton High, Beverly High, every school in LA, the Inland Empire, everywhere, even took it to Arizona. So we had like made some shirts. So we went downtown to Main Street and we started buying like crew necks and hoodies and stuff, and we just printed LA Hype on there. So then that's when we figured out we could make stuff. And then as far as my brand, being around Taz, working with Tisa, just seeing them going to little small vendors in the community, working with like American Apparel and stuff like that, seeing buyers come, I'm like, all right, cool, this is the next level. Seeing all their inventory and their stock system and stuff like that. Working on Wix, which was like the site builder, and Big Cartel. This is like pre-Shopify.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Big Cartel was almost everybody's start.
yeah, everybody had like the Big Cartel. So yeah, so seeing that, I'm like, all right, cool. Like I don't consider myself very smart, but I have like a very analytical mindset. So I can see something and I can like kind of like interpret it for myself.
I would say, I think you are someone very smart, and I think you're intuitive, and you don't have fear in pivoting.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's why me and you kind of get along so well. Like,
Oh, I go 100 whether I got it or don't.
exactly, bro. But nah, so being inspired by that, bro, we started like, like I said, printing on that. So I get to this point to where I'm like being around Taz and all this high fashion, seeing Virgil when he was doing Pyrex, seeing him launch Pyrex, seeing all the work he did with Kanye and all these dudes like Chris Julian from Fruition and all those
Shout out to
people
Chris.
that being around Taz allowed me to see and be exposed to. Like, I'm like, you know what? I want to do my own thing. Like, I didn't know what Rick Owens was before I met them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll go to Macy's,
Yeah.
call me a Marc Echo fit, maybe like whatever was in there. Like, but I didn't know about high fashion. So I'm like, loving sports and then being exposed to high fashion. Like, man, I want to make a hockey jersey. I forget where I got that inspiration from, but I want to make a hockey jersey and I want to put the Chanel logos on it. And I'm like, to make it sporty, I'm going to put Coco and I'm going to put the numbers and all that. So me and my boy Dave went to a Starbucks in Torrance. We put together like 4 jerseys. It was a Coco Chanel jersey, a Fendi jersey that said Lagerfeld on the back, a Rolex jersey, and like a Jesus Christ jersey. And like, went to the
Those were the first 4 hits.
first 4 pieces. Went to the mall, the Delamo Mall, by the Chick-fil-A. Went to a guy that had a heat press, got a sweater from American Apparel, printed the jersey, cost us like $200 to make the sample. And the minute that jersey went on his back, kids was asking us where we got it from.
Second, you saw that come off the press. What was that emotion? What was that feeling?
Bro, I felt proud because I felt like, damn, like I had an idea and I created it and it's in the world. And that still inspires me to this day.
No, that's a moment that had all this, like, look, even talking about it, I get goosebumps still.
Yeah.
And you've told me the story a couple of times. Flip side of that coin, what happened?
So I make that jersey. This is like May 2013. Put it on Instagram, which was still kind of in its infancy, but it was way more potent as far as stuff going viral. There was really no pay advertisement. It's like if 2J's had 500,000 followers on there and he shouted me out, 500,000 people would see it. They hadn't figured it out yet. So the power of Instagram was crazy. So I throw it on there. Kids from around the local area start hitting me up. One of my friends was Tiana Taylor's choreographer. So he's like, yo, Tiana like that. Like, she want one. So I'm excited. I'm like, yo, like, this is tight. Tiana Taylor wants one. So I made her one. I made him one. Got to take care of the plug. So I made him one. I made her one. Shipped it to her. Tiana threw it on her Instagram. Tagged me. Went viral. That night, my first night after she tagged me, I made like $10,000. People was buying it in Ireland, Japan. I had like 60 customers. I still got it written down. My grandma has that book at her house.
I seen her randomly at Gallery Department a couple months back.
Yeah, and the Coco Chanel jersey went viral. So that cycle lasted like a year and a half. Everybody from Tiesto, Keisha Cole, French Montana, Khloe Kardashian, Wiz Khalifa, Jeezy word on Jimmy Kimmel, and then Chanel hit me with a federal lawsuit.
Man.
They hit me with a federal lawsuit because Alibaba had knocked it off. Our boy T had made his own version of it. People was reinterpreting it. They thought it was just a Chanel knockoff, but it was something unique. It did use the Chanel logo, but it was something unique that nobody had seen. And it said Om Film on the back. And nobody really knew like that was the brand that made it. It just was a part of the thing. So even everybody that knocked it off on Alibaba, across the world, put the brand on there, and I saw people start knowing the name.
Crazy.
And I got that lawsuit from Chanel.
So that's hit number one.
Yeah.
Oh shit, number one.
Yes, I learned a lot.
Give me one more. That's
My-
happened with the brand. You had,
Yeah.
I mean, I got stuff that I'm looking at that I'm like, oh shit, Kentucky Derby, oh shit, Playboy collabs, like,
I mean, I could say Playboy. I would say Playboy's next because it was last year that we did it. Last year, literally March 2024, we dropped our Playboy collab. But bro, not to sound like arrogant or nothing, but like I had so many eras of my brand, dude. Like I've had eras where I was literally like telling my boy Davin from Diet Stars Monday and a couple other people, I'm like, yo, like
another good homie.
yeah, we're like the beta versions of these lit Instagram kids. Cause like, you know, when Instagram first came out, we didn't really know what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we didn't know what an influencer was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just we was kind of doing our own thing. Like, but like I'm first generation like Instagram lit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like made the money, lived the lifestyle. Like, so like I've had many eras, but you know, I backed that up with like a triple layer shirt that sold literally like hundreds of thousands of units.
Yeah.
Like not dollars, like units.
Yeah.
But to fast forward over 12 years, yeah, last year I would say Playboy. Kentucky Derby for me, though, like it transitions the brand from just being like respectfully like some little high-end black kid street brand to like high class, like elite circle recognition. Like, so that really helped us a lot. My friend Valerie Bruce put me a part of that. And through Derby, I seen, bro, I've literally sat at the top of where you can watch a Derby with governors and
Nah, it's crazy.
senators and
Crazy.
billionaires from Saudi Arabia and people that invented bourbon, literally.
Nah, it's been wild to see like what good energy could create for you, man.
Yeah.
How have your personal experiences and background influenced your designs and brand philosophy?
Like I said earlier, bro, like just thinking about what I've seen growing up, you know, all of my experiences with my family history. Sometimes just looking back, my grandpa told me one day, he said, my grandpa was born in the early 30s, so you know he was that what they call it the Great Generation.
Yeah.
Like so he fought in the Korean War. But my grandpa said, yeah, I used to want to do women's clothes. He used to sell women's clothes, but back in his day, they would label him. He was a family man, but he didn't want to get that label as someone that wasn't like masculine.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to do, you know, for lack of a better term, someone who wasn't masculine because he wanted to like make women's clothes. Like he had a family, provider, all that, but he was inspired and he liked clothes. So like that's in my blood, I guess. And like my uncles were hustlers, man.
Yeah.
You know, they participated in the Reaganomics, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So like I get that from them too. But like I said, growing up, my grandma and both my grandmothers were like, and my nana and my great grandma, they took what they were to church very seriously. Even as kids, Easter Sunday, you know, like going to school, having the fresh fit for the first day of school, you know what I'm saying? Doing what we could do with the little budget that we had for school. Like that all inspires me. Like looking back on like old like hip hop stuff, people that I looked up to, obviously like, you know, stuff I see now too. Like, but mostly like archive stuff from like the late 90s and the early 2000s.
And I think you've done a great job of like putting your twist on it and making it today. You know what I'm saying? You've done a great job with all of that, man. What do you think your future goals are, and how do you envision the role in this evolving fashion landscape? Where do you think it goes?
All right, so my future goals. Right now I'm in an era of like taking care of myself. So you know what I'm saying? Like mentally, physically, like
Such an important part, right? That gets
Yeah.
overlooked when you're building.
Exactly. I mean, you know this a lot, bro, because you've actually built something very incredible. Like everybody thinks like we just happy every day, like we got all the money in the world every day, like we don't have no problems, but like you find yourself honestly like taking care of others more than you take care of yourself. And like I don't mean to be bitter, and I'm not bitter. I'm very thankful for like the process, but like we kind of forget ourselves along the way. You know what I mean? And like we're so busy. Like I don't know if I would say like ashamed, but like maybe being ashamed for how successful you become that you kind of want to like share that with other people, and like you end up like potentially like not thinking about
Breaking
yourself.
down?
Yeah.
I mean, I
exactly.
think the toughest part about being the face or the leader or the one that creates the guidance is that you do say, I'll take everything on your shoulders, and you compartmentalize and keep everything in, and then when you have those moments of humanity where you break down or you feel like, man, this is not normal, you don't know how to articulate it.
Yeah.
And when they see the breakdowns, everyone around you is like, the fuck is wrong with this dude
Yeah.
here? He got everything in the
Yeah.
world. What is you crying about?
Yeah.
And like, you realize, I mean, at least for me, like what I realized is that there is not an item, a dollar, amount of free time that can fix it
Nah,
when
it
you
can't.
get to that point,
Yeah.
right? And so it's really hard to separate the life balance and the work balance when you are so passionate about what it is that you do, and we can't sit still.
How many times did you see me in Vegas last year?
A lot. And it got to the point where you stopped calling me when you would come up because you're like, yo, I'm ashamed that I'm out here. And I didn't want to hit you because I didn't like, and it ain't, you weren't even doing nothing wrong.
Yeah.
You just did, we hang out outside and you see me, I don't be outside spending money.
Yeah.
Like I spend money on friends and this and hanging out and this and that. But like, I know Vegas. I've been in Vegas way too long to be out there too long.
Bro, I just wanted to escape my reality. You kind
Yeah.
of bro. If we're being real, you was kind of almost like my therapist last year. But you also had some stuff. You had a lot you was going through too.
I have been going the last 3 years. My friends, my close ones know the things that I've been going through. And what I've been going through are not things that the average person. Well, let me correct myself. No one should go through what I went through in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'll tell you this. I have learned to accept. I am learning to accept. I am also understanding that I just paid for the illest masterclass in business, in the history of business, for people like me.
The history of business.
For people like me,
Yeah.
right?
Of the world.
And so one day I will be able to package that story correctly for people to understand why I had to walk away.
Yeah.
But today is not that day, right? And all I say to people when they look at me and they say, yo, why are you not over there? Why are you not promoting? Why are you not following? Why are you not in? Like everything runs its course, especially when your heart and your gut tell you it's time. And it's never when you see it. You never have control of when. It's like the athlete.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets to be LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron is, we've never seen 21 years of sheer dominance and doing it your way.
Yeah.
And even when you got the sheer dominance and doing it your way, you don't get all the wins.
Exactly, man.
And that's like, I just got to a point where I had to disconnect because it was gonna kill me.
Bro, being with you, like I said, like observing you for a few years before I met you in person, like the larger than life persona, I'll definitely say, bro, like your persona is, you are you, bro. People, it wasn't, bro, you could have called that shit fucking, lunar sneakers and you still would have been you, bro. People, bro, the brand is you, bro. And that's what I realized, bro.
The brand was the people. I was touched by and not trying to make it all spiritual and no shit like that, but I've said this a lot. I've been touched by the hand of God. And he knows that I'm willing to handle the light that comes.
Yeah.
And I know some people are going to understand that, and some people are going to look at what I'm saying and be like, yo, this dude is fucking bugging. He's in his head bigger than he needs to be. I speak for the people. I work for the people. I care about the people. And I will always do that more so than I care about myself. Because as long as people around me are good and are motivated and want to do what they want to do, then I did my job and I'm good.
And bro, that's why the people they
Fuck with me.
They fuck with you, and that's why you are the brand, bro. Like that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not saying that you're
I ain't
like,
been over there in almost 3 years.
but I'm trying to tell you, bro, the people will follow you wherever you
Yeah,
go.
that's
Bro,
why we started social services and
Yeah.
we're doing the podcast and we're doing the consulting and the curating and this.
you gotta remember, Jay, I was with you in Denver, bro. Like when you was selling the shirts. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, tell that.
Yeah,
Tell
like,
that story.
I was with you in Denver, bro.
Yo, you guys got to hear this story.
Yeah.
Phil, check this story out.
So, if I'm not mistaken, bro.
And shout out to Philip Leeds, who's in the cut back here listening.
Yeah.
But
So look, like I said, man, I'm a student of the game. So not only do I know
that's a crazy story.
my place in the game, but I also like observe and I see who is who. And you got to be a student of anything, right? If you're in finance, if you're in clothing, you're in politics, whatever. So I've known 2Js for a minute now. My perception was my perception, but we literally both had teams in the league, a basketball league. This dude walks up to me, and I'm like, oh damn, like 2J got a team in here, like this like Birdman and Manny Fresh to me, like whips, cars, all that. So I'm like, damn, like I feel good because I got a team in the league with him. You know what I'm saying? So I seen him for a couple of weeks, didn't say nothing to him. I want to be organic. This dude walks up to me, bro, and it tells me everything that I'm going through. And I'm like,
Without even knowing who he was.
and I'm like, this
Just by
is
looking at him.
crazy, bro. Like he telling me like, yeah, I know, like I'm going through it. You know, I'm thinking about my business expanding and my overhead and inventory.
Just by looking
and
at him in his eyes.
people and all this. I didn't tell him nothing. He just tells me everything, right? That the next day he comes to my warehouse. That same night, I'm mashing through the desert with him in his Bentley. Like I end up in Vegas and like for like a whole year, bro, we just was like linking up.
Yeah, that day he was. After that day, I was like, "Yeah, I'll pull up on you before I go to Vegas."
Yeah.
He goes, "You going to Vegas?" I go, "Yeah, I'm going tomorrow." He goes, "Well, pull up and then I'll roll with you."
I'm a roll.
And we wind up going. So we go to Denver,
Yeah.
and I decide to.
He decides to bootleg some shirts.
I made bootleg shirts of my own brand
Yeah, and it's crazy because
because I'm not there no more.
and yeah, he's not telling people. People don't know like that what he's going through. People don't know that like he literally is like it was like if I could say maybe you could edit out. It was like a hostile takeover of his own brand. Like it was crazy. Like so I'm with him and like I'm naturally feeling like nigga I'm a ride for this dude. Like this dude done told me my whole life what I'm going through right now. This is like we was meant to meet each other. So like I'm with JC wherever he go. Like he like Birdman, I'm like Lil Wayne. And this dude done did, $50, $100 million. I done probably did
400.
$400 million is crazy. See, it make my little 40, 50 seem crazy, bro. But that's what I said. Birdman, Lil Wayne. So I'm riding with him. So we go to Denver. He's like, I'm going to Denver. I said, fuck it. I'm going with you. Like, so I hop on the flight. I'm with him. Suitcases. He got Urban Necessities t-shirts in the Ramoas, flexing. Bro, I seen generations of people show this dude love.
Yo, I pulled up. I pressed some shirts.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, man, I'm not even really like I can't be an ambassador to sneakers right now.
Yeah.
I can't be an ambassador to this brand right now. I'm supposed to be outside right now, but I'm not supposed to be outside right now. I gotta feed my family right now.
Yeah.
I'ma press these shirts and throw them in a suitcase. I can't walk in that building and I'ma hold the sign and walk through the line.
Yes. Bootleg.
Tees like, yo, help me buy these t-shirts so I could buy my way into the show.
Yeah. That shit was so organic.
And sold the shirts, like sold out of shirts. The only thing that cooked it, that made it take a little bit longer, was when old boy cut the line.
Yeah.
Remember, because the line was like crazy zigzagged out.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for old boy cutting and everybody turning it into like a frenzy of like, oh, that guy cut the line, I'm going to cut too,
Yeah.
I would have sold the shirts out like 45 minutes faster.
Yeah, but nah, like, not to cut him off, because this was a crazy story, but like, bro, OG dudes, people been in the industry for a while, kids that's like 8 years old, middle-aged kids, moms,
All walks of life.
hype beasts, everybody was showing this dude love. Everybody, that's why I'm saying, bro, like, no matter what you do, people, the streets got you, bro. Like it's like on training day when the Bloods told Jake they had their back. Like the Bloods are the streets, and you're Jake. Like, bro, you good, bro. Like you sold too much good into people, bro. Like and people love that story, but like. Not to like take over, but one thing that I've learned too, like on my little run that I've been on the past 12 years, like I said, I've been watching Mad Men and I like watching a lot of shows. I like character arcs, right? And like in every story, bro, there got to be like a redemption arc. There got to be like the guy that was winning a lot got to show a little bit of struggle, like right, like that's where you were. And like,
Yeah, I'm like this.
Yeah.
I've been telling. I'll tell it like this. I'm like the sneaker version of Rocky,
yeah,
right? And you see what's going on with me and my family, the health on both sides, and then I'm like in the, I guess per se, the American greed part of it, where like I got what happened. I don't know how you even Bernie Madoff vibes. And I'm now on some Iron Man shit.
yeah,
And like the reality of it is that the disconnect didn't happen the way that I ideally saw it needed to happen, but the disconnect that needed to happen happened, and it saved my life.
yeah,
More than anything.
yeah,
More than anything.
yeah.
And I have the opportunity, the tools, the resources, the support to build something now on solid ground. And I had built an empire on Jello. Right,
Yeah.
so I had Empire State Building on Jello, and
Bro,
the floor shook a little bit, and we good. Like
Bro.
I made it out of there.
Bro, remember what you told me? I'll never forget, bro. Like you told me a lot of stuff in the past couple years, bro. But I'll never forget what you told me. Like, bro, people like us that like started something from nothing, like the heights that we reached, bro. Like, bro, you was sleeping in a fucking taking showers in
Fountain.
a fountain, bro. Now you like crashing like Rolls Royces like Mike Tyson. Like, like, bro, people like us, bro, like
I ain't crashed no rolls, but yeah, I get your point.
Bro, we seen a lot, bro. Like
Yeah.
like my biggest fear, bro, I'm gonna tell you, like I never told nobody this. But this was my biggest fear when I first started. Like, bro, like my grandparents in Compton are ironically were more well off than my grandmother who lived on the west side around here, West LA, Beverly Hills. Like my biggest fear was like I'm a phony, like I was lucky, like I don't deserve this. I'm gonna go back to where I came from.
That's because you're your toughest critic. Bro.
Yeah, like that was my biggest fear. And now, bro, I don't fear that no more, bro. Like I know that like what I've done is like good and like I am creative. Like I do have a perspective that's unique. Now I understand my demographic. I understand what they need. Like I understand like what's next for them and for me, and I also understand like how I could gradually like help push that forward.
And that's why
bit.
your brand is starting to have the strongest years in the history of your brand.
Yeah.
It's because you're putting it together, man, and extremely proud of you. I like continued success. You got a friend and a family member in me for life, bro, and I'm forever rooting for you. I just want to see you keep being great, bro, and then don't ever be scared of the light that's put on you, bro. But I'm going to end it on that.
Yeah.
But before we end it, let folks know where they can find you, how to get a hold of your brand, and like if they want to do collabs or put it in their stores or, just hit you for advice. Where can they get at you?
Well, you can hit my agent and my manager. But no, my name's Drew. My personal Instagram is
Don't hit me. I'm not his manager or his agent.
Send all the offers to JC at 2J's Kicks. But now my Instagram, personal Passport Poppy. Passport is with an E. And then my brand is OMFEM, HOMMEFEMME on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Love you,
And
bro.
I just want to say one more thing before we hang up,
Hang up?
before we get out of here. I feel the same way about you, big dog.
Appreciate you, bro.
And I'm thankful for meeting you and for everything that you sold into
No,
me.
we locked in.
Yeah, for sure.
Love. And on that note, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Be well.